They said they were a myth, but the watchful eye of Odin sees all. They said they couldn't be beaten until they faced the wrath of Thor's hammer. They thought they knew until they faced the deception of Loki. Together, these monsters create the Azir gods. Come forth and let's duel.
We are going to be talking about the gods of Asgard or Azir, whatever you want to call it. And this is Thor, Loki, and Odin. Nordics. I honestly thought this deck was going to suck a fat one. But it actually is pretty damn good. So why is it good? Well, the deck has, with the new cards coming out, mainly Gillenbursta and Ivaldi, a deck has a lot more legs to stand on. You're able to combo off more and much easier to combo off. Alfir, huge addition to the deck. I don't know if this is new to the deck. I don't think it is. But this card works really, really well with tying everything together as well. So let's talk about end board. So I thought the end board was going to suck ass, but with the adventure package, it gives us more stuff to do. So our end board's typically going to be Govig. Govig's going to be pointing towards Thor. The reason why we do this is because Govig has the effect, your opponent cannot target the monster this card points to with card effects. And also, they cannot attack this card unless Thor is dead. They both protect each other. On top of all that, our combo is going to allow us to get Nordic Relic Svine. And this card right here, if you control an Azir monster, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. You can only activate one of these once per turn. You contribute one Nordic monster, then target one Azir monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, unfortunately for this, you need to have one Azir in the graveyard and one Azir on the field for you to activate that secondary effect. But the first effect, you can activate obviously just having one Synchro monster. And the way this card works is it's pretty much a Dark Ruler No More effect, just complete, like, not for the full turn, but it does it for all the monsters on the field. Actually, all the cards on the field. So it also works on spells and traps. Say goodbye, skill drain. Card's nuts. The card's insane. The card's so good. It's like, honestly, I think this is like the bread and butter of the deck. Because you have this negate, and you have the Griffin negate, right? Right there is really annoying to deal with. On top of that, you're also running a ton of hand traps. So your opponent has to fight through hand traps. They have to fight through your adventure package. And they're going to have to fight through a once per turn Dark Ruler No More. And the reason why you get Thor, even though all these cards are not quick effects, besides this, but this is during battle. All the cards aren't quick effects. So what this card does is you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. So if your opponent ends up building a board and they can't kill Thor, right? You activate Thor. They try to negate it, and then you activate Svalin, and that will negate them. So that's just so you have two layers of negate. That's a reason why we play Thor ahead of Odin. And once you get your opponent down to 2,000 life points, if you manage to get two gods out, which isn't like impossible. I mean, like I said, the deck's very good at summoning them. You can go into Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, Gustav Max. That's a mouthful. And you can deal 2,000. So that's pretty much the deck in a nutshell. We also run Millennial Eyes Restrict because this card is a way for us to break boards. So we run one Instant Fusion just so we can break boards. It's also good material to pitch to Govig because when you grab one of your opponent's monsters, you can use the monster and Millennial's Eyes Restrict both as to the banish of this card, just to give you an idea. So let's get into the games and we'll see how we did. Hello, my little goblins. This first match is against Yami Melvin, and I'm going to show you what not to do. They activated Dimension Shifter, and for some reason, well, I thought going into Golvig, normally how this interaction works is Alvilde will search for our trap, and then Alfair will let us go into our Synchro Monster. But considering Alvir's effect specifically says it has to go to the graveyard, banishing all the cards actually does nothing. And that just made me concede the game. I included that video just so you guys understand, because Dimension Shifter is a popular card. And Yami Melvin is actually a subscriber and watcher. He joined into the Twitch chat after this game, and he said hi. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to include this into the game. I thought it was pretty funny. So let us go to the next one. That's actually going to be a real game. Okay, so this is a real game. And actually, I do want to say this is all in the Duelist Cup. We went from rank 10 to rank 16, close to 17 with this list. It was actually pretty fun. We won a lot of games. Now, did we mess up sometimes? Yeah, it happens. We're human. I was about to say we're not human. So as you see, I'm doing the standard adventure bullshit that you guys all know and love. I go into Valkyries, considering it's one of our worst cards. We have much better cards. We get rid of Alfia. So this is the combo I was talking about. Evaldi, and then you search with, then you do the thing with Alfia. And that's going to let you go into Thor. Alvaldi is going to get our relic, and now we have 1 negate and 2 negates. So our opponent's playing Adamancipator. Is that scary for us? Not necessarily. So we pop that. He normal summons Analyzer, and we negate that. You just don't want this deck going off. I'm just telling you that right now. And here comes DPE. And so this is actually hilarious. Our opponent tried to attack our Golvig like multiple times with the Analyzer. Golvig cannot be targeted as long as Big Boy's pointing to it. So he pops our token. And it's going to be our turn. And this is why you summon Thor. If I did not summon Thor, I would not be able to do this. Okay? So now we activate Thor. And he's forced to use Phoenix. And now we can board wipe him here. Or not board wipe him, like negate his effects. Now, beautiful thing. We summon Evaldi. Evaldi is going to grab our... I'm not even going to pronounce it. How do you pronounce that? I don't know. We get the relic. And now we go into Loki in case that is a, I don't know, some weird trap he activates during the battle phase. That's the only reason I went to Loki. Otherwise, you don't really go into it. We summon right. We're just putting lethal on board. So it's lethal. It might not look like it. But we're going to do 2k, and then we're going to hit him for another 43. And then boom, he's at 900. We go into Gustav Max, and then we send him to the graveyard. Boom, baby. That's how you do it, Nordic style. Game number 2 or 3. I guess it's 3, but really 2. Our hand's pretty damn good. We got good follow-up and we have Alfir. Remember, Alfir in hand with another Nordic monster is like your best starter. And then we get negated, so we cry internally, but it's not the end of the world. We still have our beastie. So I'm going to take this time to tell you guys, we have a tournament coming up this Saturday on the 13th at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you guys want to join the Discord, follow me on Twitch, and subscribe to me on Twitch. And remember, you can use Prime. You can use your Twitch Prime, and guess what? You'll be coming in that tournament having a chance to win 100 big ones. So, trying to get as much people as I can, just because I think it'll make more interesting tournament. I'll be streaming the whole thing too. So here comes Christian Halki Fibrax. So the reason we did this is so we can go into Golvig. And now we can combo. So I actually, I wanted to show this video too because I met another thing. So you have to read these cards very carefully because there's very intricate things that you can and can't do with the deck, right? And one of those intricate things you can and can't do with the deck is look at Evoldi, right? Not Evoldi, Alfir. So we banish Alfir, but Alfir specifically states if only this card is banished by the effect of a Nordic Link monster. If only. So you cannot banish 2 cards. I was trying to... This is what I thought I was going to do. I was going to banish two cards, summon 2 level 4s. I use the Alfar to go into a Nordic God, and then I use Halki Fiberax on my opponent's turn to go into our Baron. Because we have Desert Locust in the deck, in the extra deck. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, bare minimum, though, the board isn't that bad because we'll still be able to go into that Baron. But it's still like, this was just a dummy move, right? So just make sure you read the cards. Another card that I think you guys need to read, I'll point it out when it comes up. But we hit him for 23. Our opponent evenly matches us, and we lose 90% of our board. Now, things look pretty dire. He's gonna go for that, but we're top G's. Like we're part of the Tate brothers, dude. We're top G's, so we go into Desert Locusts and go into defense, and we force him to discard a card because we're absolute chads. But then he draws 2, so it's like nothing happened. He ends his turn. He can't do anything. So we assert dominance and just start beating his ass in with the bugs from Bug's Life. You know, the grasshoppers from Bug's Life? They just fucking a bunch of menaces. We start beating the shit out. I know locusts are different from grasshoppers. Thank you. I get it. You guys are really particular about your insects. So here comes Fairy Dragon. By the way, I had a controversial take. I was talking to my wife. My wife says dolphins are mammals. I don't think so. I think they're fish. Argue with me about it. Alright? I hope that really sits in with you guys. Alright, so we got Water Enchantress, so now we have game. And you might be saying, Fatsoid, how do we have game? I know you have a fucking huge wang and all, but how do we have game? Well, it's simple. We're going to bounce back Fairy Dragon, and then we attack first with Wandering Griffin. So when he activates Fairy Dragon, we can negate it, and then attack with the other 2. And now he's dead. Alright? And our opponent is like, oh man, he's too good at the game. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Look at that. Locust, slap you. Don't regard the mistake I made earlier. Smack you. Do you know what the most annoying thing about the Duelist Cup, and this is game 4 by the way, but you know what the most annoying thing about the Duelist Cup is the fact you cannot see your opponent's deck list. It bothers me so much. We're playing Nordics, by the way. Isn't this exciting? Playing Nordics? We're just setting up for next turn. I love my Nordic deck. Oh well. Well, we maxi. We honestly, now when I think about it, we should have maxied the standby phase or something. I always just assume I'm getting Kaiju'd at this point. So there's Glyph. Glyph is gonna grab his castle. I remember this shit from Duel Links. I used to play this. I used to play like the burn deck with Lava Golem and shit. Fucking toxic as hell, dude. This shit was fun as fuck, though. So here comes Hextrude. We're gonna negate it because he's gonna destroy our Imperm anyway, so I might as well get some value out of it. Right here he can go into drag, but he ends up going into, I think he goes into Dingirsu, yeah. Duelist is a pretty good card too. He's gonna destroy our Fateful Adventure, but I don't think like things are going too well inside this guy's brain because he's letting me draw like 600 cards. Like unless you're killing me with the Max C challenge, do not do this. Like there's like no reason to do this. Now look at my hand. It's fucking juicy. So we activate right. We want to make so. Since he has 5 material, right? If I instant fusion into Thousand Eyes, right? And he activated Zeus, right? He'd be able to activate Zeus again in response to Thousand Eye, and he would destroy the Thousand Eye, and I wouldn't be able to do anything. But that's why we have to force him to use it with right first. So, see what we do holding Draco back and not using it? Now we force our opponent to do something. Now he can go into instant fusion. Our opponent's boned. Because he's going to activate... Honestly, I think it was a little early to activate anyway, but like he's screwed either way. Because now we take it, boom. This is why Thousand Eye is a good card. That's why instant fusion's good. Golvig is going to special summon our boy, and we're going to go into a god with pretty insane hand. So it was GG. I don't want to say my opponent's a loser, but that is literally their name. All right, here for another game. This might be the last one, might not be the last one. I guess you'll find out when the video comes out. B-Troopers! Oh man, I think this deck's good. Here comes Halki Fibrax. We're gonna fight over this thing because our B-Trooper friend over here decided to go the Auroradon. Some weird Auroradon shit. So we're gonna imperm them. Actually, we actually don't know because we imperm to stop them. So we don't even know if they're going Auroradon. But I had a good feeling they were, you know? There's no way you name yourself Chao Kage. Or Kage? I don't even know. It's like Cow, like chaos. Chaos. Kage. I don't know. He's going to get rid of my beautiful little water enchantress like egg jerky. And we are going to grab that Draco back. Boom. We get that Nordic relic. We add the water enchantress. By the way, I'm going to do like the biggest dummy move right about now. But we're going to go to the Nordic and we're going to get rid of all the cards we don't need anymore. And we're going to go into our beautiful Odin. Father. Father! I activate Water Enchantress even though I know they just called by the Grave Dead. I'm just showing you guys because I still think the game showcases the combo and stuff like that. It's just kind of tilting me, to be completely honest. You have to remember, when I'm recording these, I am talking to Twitch chat too. And sometimes they be popping off, and I'm trying to keep up with the conversation. Alright? He gets Doom Dozer, but he doesn't have enough insects to actually do anything with the Renaissance Bug. So he plays Sting Lancer. We're going to negate it. So this was actually a mistake, though. This was a pretty big mistake because I'm not even kidding you. I've been seeing a lot more because the YouTuber Dazif, which is a big Yugi YouTuber, he released his version of B-Troopers and it doesn't run DPE or anything. So I was thinking it was one of those versions. But Kaukage, he's playing DPE like a scumbag, like I did. I can't knock him for it. But he goes into the card, and I was actually shocked. He popped Odin. I was like, that is so dumb. So with that being said, we're gonna activate Alfair's effect and just special summon Thor. And the reason why Odin didn't come back is because we didn't have Tuner in the graveyard, if you guys were wondering. Just to let you guys know that. So, Nordic Relic Svine. comes out. Again, I showed you guys this combo before. Activate first, then do that. And now we're going to hit him for a fat 3k damage. Get sniffing. Goodbye. Alrighty, so this is the actual secret last game of the day until we go into the recap. Let's see what we do. Well, we activate reinforcement. I was trying to bait out Ash, but I don't think they have Ash. They have Maxi. Kind of aggy. But that's not the end of the world. We summon our green blob, and we get ourselves Griffin Rider. The reason why we do this is so we can have follow-up. I actually... Wait a minute. I actually think I try to go lethal. I'm trying to go for lethal here. I'm like, you know what? If this person doesn't have an answer, I'm just gonna butt fuck them. You know? Like, think about it. If they don't have an answer, you just kill them, right? Odin, I mean, look, this is 800 damage. We're gonna bounce this. So I activate Odin's effect, and this person activates Droplet. And I'm like, oh gosh, why? But that's not that bad. He pretty much got rid. He's playing Floateries. He pretty much got rid of all the cards he drew. So I was actually pretty happy. I was pretty fine with that. So now we still have Griffin. By the way, fucking, I just got this Trishula fucking mate. He's been going fucking popping off. He activates the Lightning Storm, which is annoying. We have to negate that, unfortunately. And then he activates this, which we're going to have to negate. And the reason why you always want to negate this is because if he has no good follow-up, if the only card in his hand is Eaglin, he needs Rabina, he needs Rabina to be able to full combo. If he doesn't have Rabina, he's not going to be able to do shit. So that's the reason why you want to negate, always negate the Field's Bow. And they had nothing, so boom, we got the win, baby. I'm telling you, this deck gets it done. Let's go to the recap now, though. All right, we are here at the recap, and the gods have spoken. This deck slaps. I thought this deck was going to be horrendous, but climbing through, because we played against a lot of competitive decks. Sure, we played against some wacky one-offs or something. We played against a lot of competitive decks, and this deck put up a fight. It did actually very well. I think I played against Sword Soul twice. We won both games fairly easily. They were such blowouts that I didn't even include them into the match because our opponent would get negated like once or... I think they got negated like twice and they just conceded the game. And we actually didn't play that much Sword Soul. We played against pretty much like 2 Sword Soul in the beginning of the stream. So if you want to check out the stream, the VODs should be up. And then after that, they just ended up... I don't think we ever played against them again. But overall, the deck had a very good win rate. I did like a quick calculation of the games that I had, and it was around like 70-ish or 75%-ish, which is very good. For a game that's like a coin flip half the time, like deciding the games, that's very good. We're winning like a good amount of the games. Even when we go second, since we have a good mix of like starters and hand traps, we don't feel like we get that far behind. And another thing to point out, remember how I always say in a lot of different videos, like if you're playing a deck that runs a bunch of hand traps, but like all you need really is like one starter to like do your full combo, you're in a good place. That's kind of what this deck is. So like think about it like this. The adventure package, most of the time, if we don't have Alfar in the hand, you didn't see it that much in the games I showed, but if we don't have Alfar in hand, a lot of times the adventure package, the whole purpose of it being in there is you get Wandering Griffin, the token, and then you send Fateful Adventure and Draco back as tribute to Golvig. So we can search up to 3 cards. So a lot of times you're just getting rid of these. Like you summon this once, You get the token out once, and then you get rid of them so you can get your god out with your link card. So like, I know you guys always complain. Like a lot of people always complain. It's like, oh, you have Adventure in the deck, you have DP in the deck. Adventure needs to be in the deck. I'm just saying like the extra card advantage you get from Adventurer offsets how much Golvig normally buttfucks you. Because banishing 3 cards to summon a god doesn't really... It's not that good. Let's be honest. But it's really good if you use it on Alfir, because Alfir obviously lets you net card advantage, right? And it's also really good when you're using it on cards you're not really going to use that often, like Dracoback or Fateful Adventure. It's putting cards to good use. So the deck's surprisingly really good, is all I want to say. I would rate this deck out of 10. I'm gonna go in it for like, I'm gonna go in for an 8, and that 8's a pretty good score. For a deck, I thought this deck was gonna be a 4. 8 is a great score. And a tier listing, if I had to give it a tier, it's a good rogue tier deck. I actually don't think it's bad. I think it's a good rogue tier deck. I think if you play against someone, you might catch them off guard. Especially I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to play against people who have no idea what any of these cards do. And I guarantee you, this trap card will throw them off heavily. And in best of ones, they're not going to have a chance to change up, to fix what they're doing. Well, I think the deck has, like I said, I think the deck has a punch. It has a lot of cool plays you can do with it. We run a medley of XZ monsters too that can go into Zeus, because you're able to get 2 level 4s or 3s like fairly easily. We also run the Super Dreadnought to finish games off. And I think if you gave this deck a shot, I think you'd like it. Is this deck super expensive? A little bit, because you have to get 1 of each for the gods. And you're going to have to get Super Dreadnought, Rail Cannon. I think the card's pretty necessary. And I think you're going to have to get Millennial Eyes Restrict. You can try running without Millennial Eyes, but I really did like it in the deck. So let me know what you guys think. And remember, Saturday, we have that tournament. It's the first one of its kind. Come on, join it. All right, goodbye, guys.